Introduction. Jean-Paul Sartre's Nausea is a philosophical novel examining human existence and experience through the protagonist's deteriorating psychological and emotional condition. The hero of the novel, Antoine Roquentin, is a historian who begins to suffer from a constant nauseating feeling that inhibits every aspect of his life. Roquentin's crisis prompts him to reassess his faith and outlook on life. This essay will discuss the emotional journey of the narrator, his faith before the crisis, and life after it, and compare it to Kierkegaard's Night of Faith. Faith and Roquentin's emotional journey. The crisis Roquentin faces leaves him unable to define who he is and makes him doubt his existence and the reality of his experiences. The character is pushed to the brink of insanity by his self-imposed isolation. He is trapped mentally by his work that focuses on the life of an 18th-century political figure and is separated from people he knows after moving to Bouville. It can be argued that the crisis Roquentin undergoes shows him the way forward from his previous convictions and fallacies. Before the crisis, the protagonist put faith in other people rather than himself. He justified his own life through the existence of others, even if he did not know them personally. Notably, his work of passion revolved around researching the life of Marquis de Rolbon, who was involved in French politics in the 18th century. When he is unable to continue that examination, he feels dejected and disenfranchised and as if he lost a part of himself. The end of his study as well as severed ties to his lovers and a casual acquaintance push Roquentin to find meaning beyond others. Life after despair. The narrator's crisis fills him with a sense of hopelessness and despair that are difficult to recoup after. However, Roquentin manages to do so by choosing to forego the past and accept meaninglessness of his existence. Unlike his former lover Annie, who clings to the memories and uses Roquentin to measure her changes, the narrator decides to leave his old life behind. He is determined to write a book that would make other people question their existence. Instead of rationalizing his life through the examination of the lives of others and engaging in pointless relationships, he chooses to create something new and become his own reason for existing. Roquentin believes that writing this book will help him to remember his life before the crisis, be able to think about his mistakes without regret and repugnance and accept himself. Overall, joyful and productive life after crisis and despair is possible. However, one needs to adopt an active role in their own existence, commit to it, and stop looking for validation in others. Meaning experienced by the professionals. The protagonist of the story accepts the insignificance of human existence and finds purpose in himself after undergoing a crisis of faith. In the text of the book, Sartre also examines the journey of other characters. Annie finds happiness in reliving her past, whereas the self-taught man looks for it in acquiring knowledge. The author also discusses the meaning endured by the professionals. Through Roquentin, he states that they endure life without fully embracing it, marrying because it is the accepted way and fathering children at random. These professionals collect knowledge and experiences and find value in retelling their stories, reliving them and clinging to the past. Their wisdom is their downfall as it prevents them from living their life to the fullest and confines them to the past. Nausea versus fear and trembling. Literary works have many examples of characters experiencing a crisis of faith and venturing on a journey to find the meaning of life. The Danish philosopher Søren Kierkegaard examines the idea of rediscovering oneself and searching for purpose in several of his works, transforming his characters into knights of faith. In Fear and Trembling, Abraham becomes the knight of faith as he accepts that he must sacrifice his son because God demanded it and finds purpose in religion. Thus, Abraham's and Roquentin's journey have a similar goal but different ends. Sartre's character accepts the insignificance of existence and freedom that comes with it, whereas Kierkegaard's hero finds meaning in his faith and is compelled to act under God's will. Although the conclusions of their respective quests are different, both Abraham and Roquentin are content with their discoveries. Conclusion. In conclusion, Jean-Paul Sartre's novel Nausea illustrates the protagonist's crisis of faith and meaning and lack of confidence in himself and his place in life. Before his crisis, Roquentin defines himself through his work and relationships, giving meaning to the past rather than the present. However, he manages to find life after despair by accepting the futility of existence and putting his faith in himself. Although his journey can be compared to that of Abraham in Fear and Trembling, Roquentin arrives at a different conclusion and does not entrust his life to God's will but his own. StudyCorgi.com has everything you need for successful studies. Writing tools, informative articles, and essay samples. Come check it out!